Yeah.
This is large.
You know, this is a beautiful pork loin, you know, and speaking of Germany Oktoberfest, I had the chance to go there in '85. Now I'm aging myself, but they do pork sandwiches there.
Okay.
Beautiful pork loin sandwiches. And before I get into the pork loin,
Is that all they do is eat? Or do they drink a little beer?
honest to goodness, they drink a little beer
Yeah,
too.
I
And then
know,
they got
that's what I
that, they got mead and they got schnapps. They have those little round stations that we normally go and get like a barrel of root beer or something like that.
Yeah.
Those are poured shots of schnapps and different flavors.
Oh no.
And pickled fish sandwiches.
Oh, that doesn't sound
And then a ring of fire, and then they have
That's
trout
cool.
on a stick.
Yeah?
And the coals are underneath, and they're slowly heating them.
Neat.
That's the last I remember. Before we get into the pork loin, I want to oil all of my sandwiches. We're going to do some sandwiches. So I'm going to take some olive oil. I'm going to drizzle olive oil because we're going to dip individual slices into that olive oil.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit of jarred garlic. Excuse my fingers over the top of that. Jarred garlic. We're going to do the sweet basil and a little bit of earthly thyme.
Ooh.
Now, the Wisconsin pork producers do a great job, and pork is wonderful, and we do a lot of bratwurst, but lean pork is fantastic. A little sea salt in there, and I'm going to simply do a little stirring. So that's going to be our little flavor and our little dipping.
Whoa, smart.
Something's going wrong.
What's wrong? Not enough oil?
Not enough oil, huh?
Well, then add some more.
Yeah, just like Clampets.
Speaking of
I
dating
don't think I've
yourself,
ever stopped talking before. I know, exactly right. Now we're getting the pork loin back.
I don't think you've ever stopped talking before.
I haven't, have I? No, that's
What
exactly
is
right.
wrong,
Well, usually I
Mad
give
Dog?
Merrill that 30 seconds.
That's true. Now, is a big piece of pork like that expensive?
You know something? Doug was taking a look at it. He thought he was going to see $60, $16.
16.
$16, $1.99 a pound. It was on sale, but a good sharp serrated knife.
Okay.
And we're simply going to make some wonderful
Feed a
little...
lot of people with this.
You can feed a lot of people. Now, Merrill did some breaded pork, I think on, what has it been, last week, Sunday or something like that. But we're going to do some wonderful sandwiches with these, and pork loin is good, and America's got a choice, and you can vote after the show.
Okay.
You can either have shoe leather, or you can have nice, moist pork.
I would prefer the second.
Vote after the show. So we're going to take our pork loins, and Merrill pounded his out, and you can do that, but we're going to do ours in sandwich forms. And as long as I cook that to about 145 degrees,
Okay.
And now we're simply going to take each individual piece.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
This layer of fat on top,
Yep.
do you want to look for that?
You look for that because it's wonderful. People want to trim that once in a while. It's like a beef tenderloin. Sometimes you trim the fat. We don't need to do that because we're going to cook down. We want fat.
Okay.
Cuts of meat are so lean lately. Now here's another trick. Now what people do with this whole pork loin as a roast, you can cut a little pocket in there.
Okay.
And I can take a kielbasa, and I can shove like a stick of kielbasa in there.
Get out.
No, seriously.
That'd
oil
be fun.
and season. Oh, you cook
For
it
your
in the-
tailgate party, that would be really, really cool.
And then you individually slice, and there's that little ring of kielbasa as you serve it up.
I love it.
So, but
okay,
we're gonna
these are going to go on
nice
there.
high heat. Sear them up for about 4 to 5 minutes on both sides.
Okay.
Maybe move them over where there is no heat. If you're at a tailgate party, just a little bit lower heat, or throw them off to the side where there's a lower heat. And honest to goodness, 145, 150 degrees, you still want some nice red pink inside that pork loin.
It'll be nice and tender.
Nice and tender. So we're just going to continue to cut and
You
serve.
doing anything today after the show?
No, you know something? I'm going to watch the Packers like everybody else. Isn't that great?
Excellent. And have a great sandwich while you're
Exactly
doing
right.
it.
I want to say hi to, we were in a couple places yesterday, but we ended up at Shiacton at the Cabbage Chuck. But Chandler, Hunter, and Craig, I all got a chance to talk to them, and there's this great young gentleman. It was just fantastic to talk to kids and young gentlemen. Craig is not a kid, but he's a young gentleman in a wheelchair, coots around. And it's just fun. It's fun getting Mad Dog and Merrill.
And you gave him a shout out today?
I know Chandler.
Yeah. Awesome.
Hunter.
And Craig. Okay.